When the gangster that the villagers love and respect need to go to a women's football coach, which the young player didn't respect him as a coach at all, and there are antagonists following, until the football team almost didn't survive. But they fought wholeheartedly, until finally getting the trophy occupied, one person would like to cheer. Good, welcome in. Look like Love Movie Recap Channel today. AD will come to spoil the movie's vigil. At a university, a large number of students gathered for the protest rally to oppose the orders taken in the minister's corruption on the ministerial side. It has therefore ordered the police to disperse the rally as soon as possible. Either way, on the police chief's side, it was warned that it was inappropriate because the students protested peacefully. But no matter what the police object, ministers were also adamant about breaking up the rally, and they want the police to chase the students will not gather again. So the police had to follow orders shortly. Thereafter, crowd control police also stormed to disperse the rally with brutal violence until there was a student shout out that, "You're gonna be killed here. Let's run away to Michael." Then soon the students ran away. The police followed him. Suddenly Michael showed up, and a one-step police show, then playfully stirred the police team when the police didn't go back. So Michael had to exert a lot of force on the police until the police fled the head of the sun. After that, Michael went to see the minister and then tied his hands to cancel the order in front of all the students, and he had to play along the water. Because Michael brought a fully armed crew, Michael has a close friend, his name is Kieran, made a career as a women's football coach. He's going to take the team to the race, national level, at Delhi. On the way, Kieran stopped by to rest and stopped by to greet Michael. But when the two drove home, Michael's antagonists had been chasing their cars, until finally being besieged until it couldn't go on. So Michael had to get out of the car alone, then deal the enemy with a divine battle skill. Shortly thereafter, Daniel, the leader of the gang, came in alone with Michael, but in the end, he couldn't fight Michael at all, so Daniel decided to run away. But after Michael got back to the car, he also saw that Kieran was stabbed, which was Daniel's. Michael then immediately rushed Kieran to the hospital, even if the doctor saved his life. But Kieran was seriously ill, and it can take years before being able to walk back. For this reason, Kieran can no longer coach the team, since the competition will take place in a few days. The girls on the team are very sad. Your coach found something bad. Also regret not having Kieran. Be a standing coach on the sidelines. Which competition? It's very important to your future, because many people come from poor families. So they had a lot of hope for this race. Because of that, they blame Michael that he is a gangster and likes to have stories until the board got into trouble. Michael, on the side, couldn't argue or explain anything because he felt so guilty about what happened. The next morning, as soon as Kieran felt himself, he immediately asked about the match. The manager said, "Don't worry, he'll find a new coach instead." So Kieran asked to find a good coach because he's sure that if there's a good coach, his team is good enough to win a trophy. But even then, the manager doesn't know where to find a good coach, so Kieran said, "Beacon cut the scene years ago." A lot of the audience shouted for Beacon. Dug out all over the football field. Shortly thereafter, the man wearing the number shirt, 5 is Beacon, walked onto the field with confidence, which is actually, Beacon is just a nickname. His real name is Michael. By then, he was one of the key players of the Andhra Pradesh team, and Kieran was his teammate, in the competition. Michael played with confidence, with a show of divine skills. It can also score 3 goals and can successfully take the team to victory. After the race is finished, Michael looked and kissed the trophy with pride. He will take the championship cup to show off to the villagers in the community to rejoice. But on the way back, Michael happened to meet a beautiful girl, swatting, preaching, psychopaths, threatening women, but it looks like just a slap. It's still not satisfied, so she took the champion's cup until the cup was distorted, and this cruel girl is called Angels After Consciousness. She apologized to Michael and said, "We'll find the same cup instead tomorrow." Michael's father's name is Rahab Pan. He's a brutal gangster who fight the rogue mafia to help and protect the villagers, and Ray Yupban is a good and brave gangster. He stormed the thugs alone to the enemy, which is the greatest antagonist of Rahab Pan, is Daniel's father, Rai Pan, inherit gangster. That's good from Michael's grandfather, Ray Yabin has begun to be a gangster from a young age. But even though he caught a gun with a knife to help the villagers, but most people also see him as a bad person, is a terrible person because of this Rai Pan. Therefore, do not want the child to succeed him. So, Rai Pan so very proud that Michael chose the sports route, since it's a path that can help people to children. And teenagers in the community often roam or carrying a knife around. But now, the children, those have turned to kicking the ball to play sports with Michael as an idol, which Royal Pan is promoting and fully support the son. I want Michael to be on the national team to announce to everyone that people in this community are not barbaric. As many people talk about, one morning, Michael got a motorcycle into the classroom to reclaim the trophy Angel promised to bring, which she's already prepared. But it's just a little toy trophy, which makes Michael even nervous. But the other heart, he was glad to get to know and talk to angels like this, which after that, the two became increasingly close. In the final match, Michael led the team against Manipur State. This competition is very important, because besides having a trophy at stake, also auditioning for the national team. Meanwhile, Rai Pan was called by the police to negotiate with the antagonist gang. And Rajaban said the police were never dependent on the villagers, so he had to hold a gun and a knife against the thugs. On the father's side, Daniel was unhappy with the dashing of Rahab Pan, so he invited the middle of the meeting. So Aya Pan showed the courage, not afraid of anyone, by catching Father Daniel throwing until the table collapsed. Then it was announced in front of everyone that he'll handle every evil thug no matter what. Page cut the scene back to the race. In the first half, maneuvered the goal up the lead to 0. Makes the team feel discouraged and desperate. Michael, as team captain, so he spoke to encourage until everyone fought up again when the second half started. It didn't last long. Michael was able to score the chasing goal to -on-1.com, Mina Kiran, then scored a 2-on-2 draw. And finally, the Andhra Pradesh team took the lead from Michael's sharp tackles, and it was the victory goal made Michael's team successfully win the championship cup. After that, football chairman Shamar came in to admire and approached Michael to play on behalf of the national team. But soon after, the national team roster was announced. It emerged that Michael's name was not on it. When he found out about it, he went to see Sharma. But he went as Michael's father, not as a brutal gangster. On the side, Sharma explained, he sees Michael's versatility, but that he couldn't get Michael on the national team is because the other committees disagree. Since Michael's father is a gangster, which they also fear is the antagonist of Rahab Pan. Could be after Michael, and if Michael is on the national team, other players may also be struck. Enough Royal Pan to know that he tried to plead with Sharma. Let him see Michael's great talent and explain that even though Dad is a gangster, but you don't have to be a gangster, the lace can drop far away. After that, Dad came out to tell Michael the good news, that everything was done on Michael's side. Very glad to be in the national team. But when it's travel day, after the train left, the crease of the teeth was stabbed by the partner in time. Michael, who saw that, jumped off the train to save his father. The antagonists raised a lot of guys. The giant Pan badge has been stabbed many more times. Michael's side went into a ruthless, frenzied fight until Daniel was scared and fled back. Then Michael rushed in to his father, but I left him. Michael's path to becoming a footballer, well, it's over. But then one day, Michael invited Kiran to make the football team to support children with talent. But lack of opportunities and support, which every young player on this team, Michael made all the choices. And Michael supports both clothes, food, tuition, sports equipment, and cost everything on the team. But Michael asked Kiran to hide this. Because I don't want the team to suffer from Michael being a gangster, cut the scene back in the present. Michael has been chasing Daniel to wash his arms for Kiran, but the police stopped it. Not to get Michael into more trouble, after Michael found out Kiran had recovered, he immediately visited Kiran, begged Michael to take over the coaching duties to continue the dream of a young girl on the team. Cut the scene to the girls. You guys are waiting for the new coach in order to travel to Delhi together. Shortly thereafter, Michael ran after him on the train. The girls were very shocked. The gangster will be your coach. Shortly after reaching Delhi, angels also followed the team. She will serve as a physical therapist for the team. That night, girls gather talk desperately with a gangster coach. Like Michael, but one comforted his friends. At least Michael came in to get the team to compete, because according to the rules of the association, if the team doesn't have a coach, it can't race. Cut the scene to Michael and Angel while the two were talking to each other. There was an unsub. It's good that Michael caught up and ran after the unsub to know who's behind it. But when he ran to the basketball court, I saw that there were many unsub waiting there. But Michael wasn't scared. He went up against the unsub with all his strength. Shortly thereafter, Michael's goons followed to help, so the bad people fled back. The next morning, the football board knows what happened, and they were very worried and dissatisfied. So they're gonna cut Michael's team off from the competition. So Michael begged. He admitted liability and resigned alone. Just let his team continue. Suddenly, Shamar came in and tell the board that, in fact, Michael is Bicken, the best footballer in the country. So the association should embrace good people like this. The committee was very considerate of TI, so they let Michael coach, in charge of the first team. Michael has to deal with favorites from the Manifu state. After the match started, Michael's team also easily lost the first goal, and then they played a lot until getting frustrated and complaining to each other on Michael's side as a coach. It tried to ban and recommend, but you guys didn't listen, which also shows that Michael is not the coach they accept. At halftime, usually the coach goes in to order the game panel and wake up morale. But you won't let me.com on duty here make the game in the second half no different than the first half. In the end, the game ended in absent defeat. During the post-game interview, journalists have questioned why so much of the form fell. Gitna, as captain of the team, replied, "If we had a good coach, we definitely won this match." The defeat in the first match made Michael feel very bad. It also feels guilty for not being able to act well enough and can't trust the team. Michael has therefore decided to resign to give the team a better chance of winning. Michael has already found a good coach, but during Michael's visit to file a resignation letter with Sharmer, Michael's men, came into the room, along with the unsub who attacked Michael the other day. In fact, Sharmer is the man behind it. Cut the scene to the past. The fact that Michael is not on the national team, it's not about having a gangster, but it's because there's bribery. For others, football is a sport, but for Sharmer, football is business. Which being on the national team would also give players plenty of state privileges, especially getting a government job. It was a very good and stable job because of this. Many people have invested to pay large sums to Sharma in exchange for being on the national team. Like Raipan, after knowing the truth from Pak Sharma, he also decided not to bribe like everyone else because it would contaminate Michael's abilities. Well, it's not like Royal Pan will give up on this, because then he took him. Sharma came to torture and then forced him to sign a confession of bribing an audition. To serve as evidence of intimidation, let the Shah come. Call the new national team from talent. Cut the scene back in the present, Sharma have said, when he found out about Michael. Getting back into football, he took the opportunity for revenge by hurting Michael, regretting the defeat. On Michael's side, when he gets to know the whole truth, he also has the fire to continue coaching, in order to fight Sharma and to help the girls on the team not to be bullied by the Shah. After that, Michael rushed to the practice field. The team chased him back as usual, but this time, Michael won't back. In addition, he also challenged to duel like 111. If the girls score 1 goal, Michael will return. But if Michael can shoot 3 doors, you're gonna do whatever he says. Shortly thereafter, a 1-on-11 duel began. Although Michael is long away from playing football, but his pace is still sharp, he can dribble through, man after man, tempting the girls until falling out of position, and also showed off the ball's dominant skills to the stunned girls. End up with a shot at the goalkeeper, there's no way to defend. After that, Michael continued to show off his flickering until Michael was finally able to win this duel. On the girls' side, so I had to let Michael, let's act as coach, as agreed, which Michael foresees a big problem with the team, is that everyone is still playing for themselves. So Michael got them to kick the ball to enter the hole 1 by 1. If not shot, everyone has to run 10 laps. For the first 3 shootings, no. 1 shot in makes the whole team run until it can barely stand. Many people even puke because of panting. But the 4th shooting and after, they all shot. So Michael explained to them, "You can do this hard. It's because you guys did it for the team, not for yourself alone, for the team right now, not all of the team's key players. Since there are 2 other young kickers that didn't come to compete this time, both of you are very good and talented." So Michael decided to go after them back. The first is called Kayati, which is why she quit football. It's because she married a very conservative and religious family, which her husband also didn't want his wife to wear shorts. And then I had to run for the others. Besides, her husband still thinks women should stay for housework, not going out to work. Then Angel said, "As a woman together, whether female or male, each has a dream, and a wife doesn't need a dimmer or jewelry from the husband. What she wants most is that the husband knew her dream and encourage her to follow her dream." For the second girl kicker, her name is Anu 3. Months ago, a young man came after Chianya, but she refused every time. She often begged him to understand that football is her breath. But the boy refused to listen, and he threw acid in his face to disfigure her. And from that day on, "I don't want anyone to see my face." So she kept herself in the room, even her mother. She still won't let him in, so her return to football in front of a lot of people. So, it's very difficult. But anyway, Michael didn't give up. He went up to talk to his brother, to give her the courage to step beyond the problem, to show the world her dreams and abilities. After that, Anita agreed to come back and play football. Before going back to Delhi, Michael took her to the young man, so that she can vent her feelings and pain in her heart. But what she did back wasn't a violent recapture. She walked in, stood in front of the man, and opened her face to see. Then she said, "I had talent and confidence. So whatever my face is, it doesn't matter. You watch football, look at me, and you'll know," which the uncle showed the man who destroyed her life. Seeing that she can beat it, it's considered the most effective revenge. Shortly thereafter, the bachelor's husband also decided to let her follow her dream. He also fully supported and encouraged, and Michael thanked him and admired him for being a very good husband. After getting a good pace player to fill the team, Michael trained hard for them, but when it's time to race, Shamar hit him. By getting the police to call Michael to the hospital, make the girls had to race without Michael standing on the sidelines, the police kept trying to stall Michael, but Sharma didn't just tackle Michael. He also played dirty by hiring umpires to judge the opposing team's side. But Michael's side doesn't let it get easily tackled. His men have been in trouble. That makes it necessary for the police to release Michael. Cut the scene to the match. Michael's team was shot on goal up the lead.com to quick balls, and they were wounded by many. The judges never blew a foul or distributed a yellow card. And when Michael's team protested the judgment, you were handed out yellow cards. At halftime, Angels and staff have to act hard because there were several team children with severe injuries. It's as if this is a match between a boxer and a ball player. But shortly after the second half started, Michael came back and solved the game for the team by sending the world sneezing down in place of a heavily injured player. After she got on the field, she secretly cut her elbow at the judges until unable to judge the next game. Make the opposing team dare not play outside the game again. Shortly thereafter, G, Ratna, and Suna can score a draw, but the opposing team was able to score a goal up the lead again. So Michael decided to send a bachelor and pray to play, and then they shot at each other. It allows the team to turn around to win beautifully. And after that, Michael's team was able to keep the win going until the team finally made it to the finals. And your competitors are the team from Manipur, which is the team you lost in the first match the night before the race. Suddenly, Kiratna and Suna disappeared. I can't find it, but soon after, the unsub left Suna. From the detection, it was found that she was heavily drugged, which would prevent her from competing, because it would not pass the stimulant test. It was all by Sharma. He planned to hire Daniel to do this. They used Quiratna as bait to get Michael trapped. And then they gave Michael an injection, and then I'll give it to Quiratna. But suddenly Michael recovered from his intoxication, and then he took care of the unsub when he began to lose consciousness. He woke up his head, and then quickly deal with the unsub until finally just Daniel, and he ran home to hide. Michael's side followed, but when I saw Daniel's son, Michael also decided not to kill him because Michael doesn't want to ruin a child's life. And then Michael left the knife in his hand to keep the book for the poor little boy and begged Daniel to change himself for you. Cut the scene to the final match. By today, Kieran came to watch the match too, but in this match, the team was also missing 2 key players, which is Suna being drugged, and Kayatri, who is pregnant, which she was very, very sorry about, that didn't play in the finals. When the race began, both sides play like paint after losing the first goal. Michael sent the pot jammin', go down and fix the game, but the Manipool team, it's still hot. One more goal was successfully fired. Makes Michael's team both pressured and discouraged to fight. So you're playing below par.com until the exchange machine ends with a score. 3-0. At halftime, Michael went to scold and insult them, since he knows that this sore speech as a fuel to wake up the fighters in the team when the second half began. You all play with strong determination in order to remove Michael's insults, until they were finally able to score a draw goal, which soon after ran out of time, therefore have to decide to win with a penalty. In the first 2 balls, both teams cannot miss, but in the third and fourth, both teams took turns to miss each. So let's decide the 5th time, which many poo teams shoot first. And she missed the shot, so all hope and pressure falls on the bachelor, which today, her husband also came to see the race. Her family was cheering at home, bachelor put the ball down slowly, the cry of her name rang out all over the field. Suddenly, she ran in, shooting with confidence. The goalkeeper floated on the right track. The ball hit the fingertips until it hit the pole. Then it floats beautifully into the tongue mesh. Glad boos rang out in both the field and the TV screen. Michael's tears of joy swelled out because today he was able to successfully win the national trophy, which is what his father dreamed of. The bachelor and the girls on the team cried glad for the success from the original that used to hate Michael. Today, Michael is the one you want to thank the most. After happily holding up the cup, celebrate the championship, Michael called Shamar, which he still acts cocky about, and he threatened Michael to keep going. But Michael wasn't afraid, because he took it back to Shamar Yasuna by secretly putting drugs in Shamar's suitcase, until he was imprisoned and executed on Daniel's side after Michael spared his life and helped he thought about changing himself for the baby, which after that, Daniel brought his son to practice football with Michael. Many people already know that sports have many uses, especially with the poor, or someone in a bad environment, risk of being provoked by bad things, because sports will help them get away from those bad things. It's also a dream and a career for them, so we should make sports equal, whether rich or poor. Whether there's ever been a good record, we should give those guys a chance. From skill and ability, without injustice, and no benefits involved. Finally, Ad wants to ask everyone that, full of 10, how much do you rate on sports support in our country? If you like to click like, want to watch the next clip, click to subscribe.